Well, our next guests don't need much of an introduction. They are two of the most recognizable faces on television. They're twin brothers who turned home renovation into a global phenomenon. Jonathan and Drew Scott are the HGTV hosts behind the Global Property Brothers franchise, which has aired in more than 150 countries since its 2011 debut. They continue to expand their media empire with series including Property Brothers Under Pressure, Chasing the West, Don't Hate Your House, and Celebrity IOU.
It just sounds like you're bragging for us.
I am. That's what I'm here to do.
And I'm so tall, I could go from my chair in the single shot all the way into your shot while you were doing the intro. But thanks for having
your
us.
resume is exhausting.
You know,
it's been a long time.
And you're not done.
We just finished our 650th episode of our shows.
How'd you celebrate?
Tequila.
Tequila and we slept. No,
Well,
you actually see, look, sometimes I cover up the grays a bit more when I'm on screen, but I'm not here. This is raw Drew here at Kbiz.
It's authentic. We are here. We are excited.
You don't have as much gray as I do. Maybe I have a little bit more. I have
he doesn't
Just
have
don't
the
look
beard.
up here. Don't look in this area.
But you do have good hairlines, you guys.
Thank you. Well,
you did get
our dad is
blessed.
91 and still has a full head, so I feel pretty good.
So you're looking forward to the future.
But this is exciting for us. I mean, to be around the energy here is exciting, and we love new innovation in the home. So Jonathan and I look like kids in a candy store walking around here when we're trying to get some inspiration.
We've got to get your notepad out and sort of like take notes of the new companies. Okay, but I want to go back to your early days. Let's bring it back to the beginning. Did you two know from a young age that you were creatively inclined and wanted to be in this home space?
Yes. Ever since we were kids, we had this like entrepreneurial spirit that we were always trying to like figure out, how can we make a couple extra bucks so we could, buy this toy
Look at this.
look at that. So back then, one of our first jobs was clowns. We would get hired at parades and whatnot, and whoa, look at that shot. And so the funny thing was when we were little, we would constantly, like my parents would go out, we'd be with a babysitter and they would go out for dinner. And then we would rearrange all the furniture, and then they would come back and they'd be like, what the heck just happened? But sometimes they would keep it.
Who was leading the charge on this? Jonathan, you? Drew,
No,
you?
it's funny. Our parents would say that we would change. So Jonathan would lead for a couple weeks, and all of a sudden I would be the one taking charge, and they would see a dramatic difference. They don't know why we swap back and forth, and then we would do a thing too where if he had a toy that I want, our technique was just pull his hair, take the toy, and then 5 minutes later he does the same thing to me. It's good communication. That's how
kids naturally will work out the pecking order, and I usually find the youngest ones are the scrappiest.
And youngest, hold on, you are 4 minutes older.
That's right.
I did my research. I went deep on Wikipedia.
4 minutes older, but I was a surprise. So
what do you mean?
They did not know there were two babies.
Stop.
There was no ultrasound.
No ultrasound back in those days unless there was a complication. And so Jonathan was born, the doctor's leaving, the nurse is like, I think there's another baby.
I like how Drew's like back in those days as though we were like
You guys
born
are
in the
my
30s.
day.
Yeah.
But then when I was born, my mom brought me into the world with the words, oh, beep.
Yeah.
And then out I came, the angels sang, and anyway, from a very young age, Jonathan and I always played off each other. We started our first business at 7, like he said, and we just naturally found that we loved home, like staging the home and whatnot, but we also just loved working together, and we were always looking for something that was our next big thing. As kids, it was like the get rich quick. How can we become, whether it was candy at the store or we bought our first medieval armor, like swords and armor when we were 10 years old. We just wanted to be able to raise money and find a business we can do
You've
together.
been entrepreneurial since the beginning.
Oh yeah. Well, and one of the things that I think is now really paying off, because when you look at my design aesthetic, and I can do modern homes, I can do any different style, mid-century. I personally am a traditional guy. I love artisanal, handcrafted elements, real detail, bold patterns, use of texture and color. Well, growing up, that's when we would travel to visit our family in Scotland or anywhere we would go, it was always more of that old world traditional feel. Well, now we're seeing this massive shift in design back to that. And so I love that finally I can just let my freak flag fly and show all those elements.
Are we here because you want us to bring some character to your design, your house? Is that why we're here?
Yes, I want you to come to my place and fix it up.
What's a room that you need some work with? What's an important room that you want to do some work on?
Maybe the kitchen.
All right.
Because it's actually a large kitchen for New York City, but it's one of these things that's kind of tricky because you want it to be functional, but you also want it to be really comfortable. Like,
of course.
you know, maybe there's actually enough room where I could possibly put a couch there. But then I think, do I really want a couch in my kitchen area with 2 kids under 5 and getting crumbs everywhere?
You know,
I don't know.
Well, I don't like that
fabric.
idea. Yeah, performance fabric, exactly. I don't like limiting a design because of kids or dirty contractors, whatever it might be. So you actually pegged what Jonathan and I have always been about. Function and style, so many people think you need one or the other. And everybody lives in the house and everybody has a certain style they love and everyone deserves to have both sides of that. And our focus has always been with our product line, with our shows, to inspire people so they can have a safe, happy, healthy, and affordable home.
This was one of my favorite things, though. When Drew had his first child, he was like, I'm just going to make sure that they know where they're able to put stuff. You can't go here, you can't do this.
You know.
I was laughing. This is like the greatest social experiment of my adult life for him to finally realize.
How'd that work out for you?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right?
What,
How did that
tell
work
us,
out?
Drew.
Yeah.
The house is never as organized or clean as I want it, but we still, it's not bad.
No,
It's-
what he did do is he started putting in furniture pieces that have extra storage to tuck away or something that's a performance fabric. So you can actually design your home to work harder for your lifestyle. And everyone, whether they're a first-time buyer, whether they're having children, whether they're, empty nesters, everyone has a different need.
Sure.
And that's what I love about our shows,
Yep.
especially Property Brothers Under Pressure, which starts airing pretty soon. That one is about people who, they've been in this environment that they're so fed up in that, and they don't think it'll ever work for them, and we show them you don't have to.
But you come in as this like third and fourth person here who's making it very clear to them what they need to do.
Yes,
exactly. We form a thruple or a quadruple with the family, and we fix it all up.
Design ways.
We move into their house.
Yeah, no, but it
Weird.
is like there's so many people that just give up on their home. Like they're literally, I've lived here long enough. There's nothing we can do to enjoy
stressful.
this. It is.
Yeah.
And when you're in that mindset where you've given up on a space, you're not willing to see what could become of that space. And so I take them to houses. We both take them to houses, show them a place we could buy that they could renovate, and then we take them with the house that they currently have and say, listen, this is what this could become. Imagine this is not your current house.
Right.
And a lot of times I do find they still go for the house that they have. Or it's a house they just bought that they didn't know they could do what we could do to it.
You're part real estate agent, part contractor, part psychologist.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
and part psycho because of the design in our head.
There is a marriage counseling element to what we do.
I'm
so,
sure.
yeah.
Okay, but all right, when we're not talking about marriage counseling, I want to talk about Celebrity IOU. This show is fabulous. It is so fun. You've had some of the biggest stars on the show. I'm talking, hold on. Mario Lopez, Saved by the Bros.
Yeah.
Eva Longoria is Desperate to Design Genius. I mean, Brad Pitt, John Stamos, Courtney Cox. I mean, the list goes on. Who's your dream guest? I mean, you've already had a lot of them, but like,
Who we haven't had, oh my God, because they're all so amazing.
Drew said he'll only do an episode with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, if they can come in on a helicopter
He and I
hanging
both
one
hang
arm.
one arm from a helicopter. His biceps a little bigger than mine, but
I actually have a picture with him. We're doing this together. I mean, I am so pathetic.
all right, this is it. I'm pretty sure that The Rock is here at the show. So Dwayne, I know what camera is this. My camera. This is my camera right there. Okay. Dwayne, come to the show. We're here. We're waiting for you, and we will renovate.
It's not The Rock, it's Rockwell.
Oh,
the insulation company.
Okay, he owns Rockwell. I didn't realize that.
That's true.
Okay.
Like you, he's very entrepreneurial and he's got his hands in everything.
Yeah,
all right,
exactly.
so you want The Rock. But talk to me about, like, have you had, I know you maybe can't have favorites, but some highlights of Celebrity IOU.
Well,
they're amazing.
one thing I always think is, you can always tell when it's a funny episode when our crew is laughing to the point where our sound guy's like, stop with the
laughing.
noise back there.
Yeah.
So we had Melissa McCarthy was a riot.
Ike
we were
Barinholtz.
laughing.
Yeah.
Ike was so funny that, and it's the guys who are quick and clever. They just come up with this stuff. Josh Gad, same thing.
Oh my God.
Everyone was
Keep on your
laughing
feet.
so hard.
I just kept having him do little audio bites for my son as Olaf.
Oh, Olaf.
Yeah, it's just because Parker is totally into Frozen.
A gross misuse of the talent that we have coming on, but
But it's so good. Can we talk about Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
he smells nice.
Oh, he does?
Yeah, and there's Michael Bublé as well. We have on there. But Brad Pitt.
John Stamos.
So when you look at the talent that come on our shows too, they have big hearts. They want to give back to one else, and these are people who have been a big part of their lives. So with Michael Bublé, it was the 2 nurses that took care of his granddad before he passed away. He literally gifted them the house, his grandpa's house, so they had a place to live. And with Brad Pitt, his makeup artist, has been with him for 40 years. We renovated her space, and it's just the stories, the tears, the laughter that you get from this show. That's why it's one of the top shows out there, because there's so much emotion.
It's not just about design. It's about the stories, and it's about people.
I mean, the only thing at this point that I think would make the show even better if it was just Property Brother, and then
I get sleep.
Yeah, and then but other than that, no, every season I love that it's a different eclectic mix of celebrities that you would never expect, and we pull back the curtain and really let you see what it is like behind their in their lives and the people that they care about.
Do you guys ever slow down? I mean, do you need a nap?
He's always trying to tell me to slow down a little bit. I like that busy pace together.
Yeah.
But the thing is, we do so much because there are two of us. We can divide and conquer. Right. Even here with our product line, Jonathan oversees. We've had 12,000 products in the home space. He oversees that team. I oversee our production and development team. And then obviously we collaborate on everything. But there's our president walking past right now over here.
Oh my goodness!
You can't even see. Yeah, Laura.
Well, tell me about the product line. It's exciting. I've seen beautiful images.
So we have, again, an incredible offering. So we currently have about 2,500 products, everything from furniture to lighting to wallpaper to, you name it. We've got just incredible categories. Even here at the show, we've got, Wood Veneer Hub, who does all of our wood paneling, acoustic panels, gorgeous walnut, new fluted details. Lighting with visual comfort. So you have, what we try and find is, I love if there's a hidden technology story or something that's going to actually make the built environment better. Also love from a design aesthetic, something that is easy to put in, people can DIY it, and then it just makes your space feel transformed without ripping walls open.
Yeah, well, exactly. Housing, New York, it's so expensive. Condo or a house. Owning is just expensive, rent is expensive, and then the idea of doing renovation where you have the cost of product and the cost of install, it's so crazy high nowadays. That's why we love finding, I almost think it's like a hack for homeowners or even renters to find ways to beautify your space and make it more functional without having that heavy ticket for all those different areas. And the Wood Veneer Hub is an example. That product for us is exciting because it's a DIY product. Sure. You could literally get that delivered to your house today, and by tonight you have a whole feature wall behind your bed or in your living room. You could do it yourself. And people don't realize you do that.
And it's an easy way to transform a space.
Absolutely.
Which is where I think we're seeing trends going right now as well, because people are kind of stepping back from major renovations and thinking, okay, well, where do I want to spend my money right now? What's the most important space? We're finding more people are taking on lighter renos, lighter makeovers than the other way around. So that's fine. Everything comes and goes in a pendulum, but right now, any of the projects that people can come in and execute quick are the ones that they're jumping on.
It's like me, I'm doing just light makeovers on me right now, just, trying to get rid of those tired eyes.
I've suggested some of this.
Yeah.
You suggested a major thing?
Yeah, exactly.
You just got to get that retinol.
I'll get there, yeah.
Okay, so Jonathan, you're on the next stage tomorrow, and you're talking about the business of resilience, designing homes that endure. Yeah. What does that mean to the both of you?
I think also seeing, the cost of housing, the cost of materials, the cost of labor these days, people are trying to think, how can I get more life out of what I'm putting in? Yeah. So they're choosing renovations and they're choosing products that have a longer lasting lifespan. Yeah. And also something that withstands. We were affected by the fires in LA, and I'm rebuilding Zoe's parents' home. This is the home she grew up in.
Amazing.
And so we're looking at materials that can withstand flood, fire, UV, anything that will extend the life of a product is important right now.
Because in our opinion too, if you have all the money in the world and you want to go and spend and have an expensive project, have at it. That's your prerogative. But for the majority of people in the country, they can't afford to do that. And so what's the point of putting in a super expensive custom wood floor if you're going to ruin it because you have kids, pets, and a contractor husband? Like, you want to make sure that you're thinking durability and resilience with your products that you're putting in. And so whether it is flooring or whether it's a decking or any other material in your house, what can you do to save on cost, still have the beauty and function that you want in your lifestyle?
I've read that you two are saying goodbye to boring in 2026. What does that mean?
Friendships. We don't want any boring people in our lives.
But in design, what is that?
In design, I'm like, I don't know if it's just with all the craziness in the world right now, people, realizing there's nothing more important than getting as much out of this moment as you possibly can. Some people who say, I'll just keep it the way it is. I'll save up for 5 years and then I'll renovate. why waste 5 years of your enjoyment of your home? I mean, your lenders there are products that are helping you improve the home easily. I want people to say goodbye to boring and really create a space that speaks to who you are as soon as your guests walk in the house.
Absolutely. The idea that, again, it can be very simple. It doesn't have to be time consuming, and it doesn't have to be expensive nowadays to add depth and texture to your home. Oh, hello.
So you got some super fans here.
We have some amazing fans here in the audience. But the idea that it's now within grasp to add that kind of personality to show who you are. I love it when somebody walks into our house and right away they say, oh my gosh, I love that feature. Tell me about that. Or same with John and Zoe. Every room has its own personality.
Yep.
Everyone deserves to have that.
Yeah.
What's the biggest compliment somebody can pay you both when they walk into your home?
For me, so my house is a century home. It's a century-old home. It was built in the 20s. I love it when people walk in and they feel that we have made the house beautiful, but we have paid respect to the era of the home. And the fact that they don't know which elements are actually traditional, like our fireplace feature. It's all brand new. We made it brand new, but we made it feel like it would have been of an original Art Deco kind of a feel of the home. That's what I love, when they can't tell the difference and they think it's an original feature.
For me, I love when somebody says, I have never seen that before. And now, granted, it could be like when someone says, is that a new haircut? They're not saying they like it or not.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Oh, that's what you did with the living room.
I love when somebody, because there's a lot of stuff out there that feels kind of like cookie cutter and repetitive. And I'm like, and that's not me. I love as many moments, and this is where it's great to find vintage pieces that you can incorporate into a more eclectic design. Love antiquing. Love finding something that nobody else is going to find and make a statement out of it. And people, that's what they notice when they first walk in.
Nobody wants white on white on white. Like for a kitchen, for example, so you renovate your kitchen.
Sure.
That's a thing of the past. Bringing in some contrast is such a great thing. It's not like shocking to the eye. It's bringing depth and interest to your design. So think through every space. Every room shouldn't be the same. You can have certain elements that tie through different rooms, but you want it to feel different so you're not just walking through a boring white museum.
Do you ever walk into a project and say, I don't really know what to do here? Are you ever stumped? No.
I've never been stumped, but there's definitely projects where it just takes a lot more brain power. And people, there's like a mixed reaction, and it's kind of a double-edged blade. You walk into someone's house and they instantly think you're judging them. And I am. I'm not judging them. I'm thinking about what the potential of a space could be. So everywhere, it doesn't matter if I'm in a commercial or an industrial setting or if I'm in someone's home. I don't like designing remotely. So someone will send a picture and they'll say, what can I do with my space? I'm a feelings guy and emotion. You get a real feeling for a space, and then I start to see in 3D what could happen.
Yeah, I just did one recently. They were in the UK and they sent me a picture of their space to renovate. And not being there, I'm like, what? Why would you have an elevator shaft right there? Why would you have this? And it didn't make sense until I had them do a video walkthrough with me. But I had another project recently. I was stumped because they have a lot of artwork. They like to feature artwork. But they have so many windows in this house, which is great for natural lighting, but I literally had nowhere that you could position the furniture appropriately to really have a feature wall without doing a split feature with your fireplace and art and everything else. And I was actually stumped because they wanted extra closet space too.
Ceiling art.
Yeah, ceiling.
Start putting your painting on the sofa. Yeah, you heard it here, folks. Ceiling art.
Yes.
Okay, wait, before we go, I want to do a few quick fun things.
Okay.
All right. Who's more likely to blow the budget?
That one.
Got you. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, what's one trend homeowners should stop doing immediately?
I mean, I'm not into the old like barn door kind of deal. There are some more modern ones that are kind of cool with the invisible hardware, but I think the old school barn doors, it just looks like an afterthought.
No more barn doors.
No more. Oh my God, there's so many little things. I'm trying to think, and I don't like the barn door thing in the sense that there's no full privacy. I like to seal things off.
Tiny house living. I'm like, come on now. Nobody wants to be on top of their.
I think
spouse.
A lot of people.
Sorry,
yeah.
Wait, what? Family show.
Wait, what? But I think a lot of people are trying to move away from an open concept and they're trying to close things up a bit more. I'm like, let's stop that. Let's open things back up a bit because you can still have defined spaces between living, kitchen, dining without super closing it off. Because the moment you put the walls up, every room feels tighter. And I don't like that. I like open flow.
Okay, I like it. Single upgrade that gives the biggest bang for the buck right now.
I mean, nothing, in my opinion, is ever more valuable than lighting. A well-lit room, understanding the different types of lighting, task, ambiance, and focused. future lighting. That for me is like a showstopper.
You can see visual comforts here as well. You can see our lights over there. Like our whole thing is to try and give people more than they thought they can afford at their price point, and you'll see that kind of inspiration. Again,
life-size nude drawing of yourself.
Ourselves. That's all that has value to space. A lot of value. No, the idea of technology in your home. It's very accessible now to have automation throughout your home.
Yep.
I control everything from the hot tub to the TV in my house with my voice or my phone.
That's wild.
So it's not that expensive. It's not as expensive as you think.
But
it
here,
would be.
PSA. Don't do what he does to his wife. When he's out of town working, he remotely will turn on TVs in other rooms so she hears voices.
Oh my
Like,
gosh, that's so
just
mean.
cruel.
That's so mean.
Yeah, I know. Michael, you do that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Michael does that too. Who's better at negotiating with difficult clients?
I think
you're probably the
I'm the smooth talker. We work off each other though, right? We read a client and we're like, this one's for you. Slide in there. Good cop, bad cop.
Okay, if you could renovate one famous home in the world, what would it be?
We've been asked to do the White House. We've been asked to do Michael Jordan's house. We've been asked.
I have always wanted to restore a castle as my passion.
This is
so
a
I'm
new
like,
show.
this could be
Castle
it.
Bros.
This may be Edinburgh Castle.
We
That's
are
where I
Scottish.
proposed to Zoe. Edinburgh Castle.
That would be a big budget.
Maybe a little
for that.
Buckingham Palace, maybe. I
Get
don't know.
those sponsors.
I would do a castle. That would be amazing.
Castle.
Yeah.
Okay, last question that we always like to ask our Homeworthy features at the end. What does home mean to each of you?
I mean, home is not just the structure. Because the structure, what we try to say to people is the structure, your physical home should make your life easier. Home is your family. Home, no matter where I am in the world, home is where I am with my family. That's right.
I remember someone saying a while ago that I wish I knew in the moment when they were the good times instead of reminiscing back and saying, oh, those were the good times. And I think home is that place that gives you that feeling so that when you're thinking back on the memories you created there, they're really good ones. And so anything you can do to foster that environment for us, I mean, I'm truly just a glorified chauffeur to the more interesting social lives of our children.
Yeah, right.
But it's the moments we spend together as a family that, make it the best.
And home is also just wherever you have our Drew and Jonathan home products in your house. Whatever camera I'm supposed to look at, even your
Are
camera.
you guys media trained? You guys are good.
Yeah.
Have you done this before?
I just swiped all your
All my
pages
notes.
off your table.
It's a good thing I don't need them.
Okay, good.
You guys
He's a wreck.
keep building this media empire. It was so great to have you. Thank you. Congratulations
so
on
much.
all the success.
This is
Have
fun.
fun here.
We will.
All right, coming up, Lauren Schultz of Monarch Kitchen Design Studio on how to find your design niche and make it work for your business. Don't go away. Hey guys, thanks.
Thank you very much.
The one thing
Brought to you by Monogram, luxury appliances elevated with every detail.
Luxury is exceptional experiences, exquisite materials, and revolutionary innovation that transcends into modern day. Monogram is redefining the world of luxury appliances and creating an ownership experience that is second to none. At Monogram, we elevate everything.
As Kbiz celebrates innovation and creativity in kitchen design, Homeworthy brings you 5 extraordinary kitchens selected by our editors. Think dramatic patterns, historic designs, and beautifully layered spaces from tastemakers redefining how we live and gather. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
One of my favorite parts of the apartment, which truly I thought I would renovate the kitchen. I thought I would. So when I moved in here, I was like, I'm gonna renovate the kitchen, even if it's a rental, I'll put my own money into it. But I've actually grown to love my kitchen. It's the biggest kitchen I've had in all of my apartments. And it is very mid-century. The actual material of the kitchen is great. It's from Bofi, which is an Italian brand that makes incredible kitchens. And the one thing I would say is that I have the tiniest sink in the world. That's what I would change. This is not great for someone who washes lots of dishes like me. But the fact that, I have 5 burners and 2 ovens and a lot of pantry storage is amazing. And I've added like a few things, like of course I have my copper tea kettle, which I love. So there used to be glass doors on these, and I really like the open shelving concept. So I took them out. I was not able to take off these hinges, so they're there and they're gonna stay. But I do love the open concept of seeing all the dishes, and I also like that it's not too perfect. It kind of looks like it was kind of thrown together, and that's kind of what the whole kitchen is. You know, I feel like I'm here all the time. It's not perfect, and I do love that a home feels lived in and it's not too precious.
We had custom when I did the first renovation, and the first renovation of the kitchen was 15 years ago, and it was just the island, only the island. So we had built this hood there. The funny was we didn't have a hood at all, and because we never met the previous owners, we didn't even know if it was roughed in for a hood, but I could kind of see a little wave on the ceiling, and I saw some grates on the outside of the house. We took a leaf, we cut the little space in the drywall on the ceiling. We put a leaf blower out there. My husband stood outside, and we were like, yes, they roughed in for a hood. I mean, you don't know. They didn't communicate any of that to us. So we were so glad, we were shocked that there was no hood. And when we called the township, they were like, oh yeah, back then, they were like, if you have a window, it passed code. We were like, what? So I'm happy that we were able to get a hood in here. And this hood will stay forever. I love this hood. So we pull in the copper with the ring above the kitchen table, and all throughout the stone. So the stone, you'll see it's pulling out some of that coppery, silvery, gray, white, but we'll start at the island first. So these cabinets, so Craig, which I told you, Craig, he's my cabinet maker. I said to him, listen, these cabinets, even though they're 15 years old, I take really good care of my stuff. I don't beat my stuff up. Nothing was warped. I just had him refinish some of the pieces, maybe give me a couple more inserts or drawers to add to it. So we tweaked it. I kept it, we tweaked it. I had old refrigerator drawers here. We just added the new Sub-Zero refrigerator drawers, so I keep all my berries and milk here. So there's a reason why I have the placement for everything, and all my veggies here. This is generally my workspace.
Welcome to my kitchen. This is an old farmhouse type kitchen. Originally, when we bought the property, the kitchen was through this door here. And this room was actually a dining room. It had a cream carpet and was very sort of traditional English dining room. But we realized that we needed a bigger space. We also wanted to be open onto the garden because we've got a lovely view here through to the garden and lovely far-reaching views of the farmland. So we didn't want to be stuck back at that side of the house. We wanted to sort of see this and be able to walk in and out and dine outside or pop in and out as much as we liked. So we moved the kitchen. And in deciding how we wanted the kitchen, I thought in historic properties, in historic English properties, typically an old kitchen is a freestanding kitchen. You're not going to have a continuous run of units. It just didn't exist in those days. I already had a couple of old pieces, which luckily fitted. And in this instance, I had this old dresser base, which I decided to convert into the sink unit. So we put a marble top on it. We dropped this old butler's sink into it and a typical sort of English 3-hole basin mixer. And then we also got a dishwasher integrated into that, which is quite handy. A typical sort of farmhouse scrubbed table. It also had to be super practical in this room. We've got 3 dogs, we've got horses, and in the winter it's a nightmare because there's mud everywhere. So fortunately, when we bought the house and we lifted up this cream carpet, we discovered the original brick floors. So these floors are hundreds of years old.
It was really important for us to have a good size island. It was intended to look like it was built from old pine, and this is Carrara marble on top, which definitely gets etched, but we sort of like that patina, and we love using the kitchen. So you'll notice the range and the cupboards over there that there's scratches and dents and dings, but we do a lot of entertaining and a lot of cooking. So
now, when we first had it installed, we were worried about little scratches and chips and things like that, but over time, our friends and family came and destroyed everything, so, and we did too. It's the best kitchen for us, and we really love it. We went from having kind of the worst kitchen to having our dream kitchen. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And then one of the funny things about the kitchen is there's no upper cabinets. What we did instead was over one of these pine dressers, where we keep all of our dishes and bowls. So we really don't have any uppers, and we reuse this every day. And when the dishwasher is done running, we put all the dishes, and then when we serve, we grab them all. But it's really handy, and we really love it. And it's sort of enabled, I think, a different look than when you have uppers. We also did these copper pots here, which yes, we do use. Maybe not as often as we use the stainless steel, but we definitely use them. And some of them are rather old. They have really beautiful iron handles. We love the warm look of them and have enjoyed collecting them.
And polishing. We also had a lot of the hardware here you see for the shelf and the hanging made by local craftsmen. So we often find people that are local that can do some unique things like this, and also we had some of these things like this push button gangplank here done by our the same craftsman, and he stamped out the different areas that these push buttons, which we put in, light up.
Here we are in the kitchen, which is where I live. I really do. I made one huge mistake when I did this kitchen. I didn't put a little sitting area with a fireplace. I would have been there every single evening if I had, but instead I sit right here. I have all my paperwork, I have a TV, my coffee pot, and I watch TV in the kitchen all the time. And I think it's really important, if you're a TV watcher, just to go ahead and embrace it. Have your TV, it looks just fine, and it's just part of the appliances. Luckily now there's so many wonderful covers that they can do, the panel-ready appliances, and they're so important, and they really make a kitchen look seamless. I copied this kitchen after Plain English. I really love that company. It is one of my favorite companies, and we use them to design our clients' kitchens. The time I did this, they weren't here in the United States, and I was just kind of, trying to get the house pulled together. But I did look at their designs, and it inspired me very much in here. The ranges are so important. I have a Wolf. I love my Wolf range, and as you can see, I leave the pots out. I was just making chicken spaghetti day before yesterday, and I keep all of the shelving on either side is open, which I think is great. It's easy to grab something, and it also keeps you honest. It keeps me from accumulating more that I can't see.
Kbiz shows us that how we live, cook, and gather can be luxurious, both inside the home and beyond it. Today on Homeworthy, we're counting down our top 5 outdoor entertaining spaces. From sun-soaked terraces to inviting courtyards designed for al fresco dining and easy entertaining. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
So this is a spot we use year-round, fire pit and chairs, and we cram people in here. I mean, we've had 25 people sitting around. The ledge around the edge here is a nice seating height. That was purposeful. So people scoot in. When it's not fire pit season, we use this as a table. We throw big platters of appetizers on here. And it's just always really beautiful and nice. Even in the cold months, it's wonderful because this does kick off a lot of heat. But obviously it's all about the view. So we love this area and spend a lot of time here. When we bought the home, it was sort of overgrown and there wasn't really a front garden to speak of, so we knew that was a big opportunity. The lower yard was also quite overgrown and there was a big concrete sort of parking situation in the lower garden. So we got rid of that, and the property just presented a lot of opportunities for improvements. We knew, because we were building during COVID, we were really sensitive to being really purposeful about the spaces that we were creating and wanting to create destinations on our property that we would use all seasons, both as a family of 4, but also for our extended family and friends. So we thought a lot about what the different parts of our property could be, and I think we arrived at solutions and moments that are really special and that we actually do use. We've created reasons to go to the different parts of our property, so that's really nice.
This loggia bar that we had built off the guest house is the heart and soul of our home, because it's truly where we spend so much time with friends and family. So what in Palm Beach, what we call a loggia is a structure that's attached to the building that has open air sides. So this isn't an awning, this is actually a structure that's attached to the guest house. And if you look up, we finished the ceiling with Pecky wood cypress, which is sprinkled throughout the home from our front door to our living room. It is an original characteristic of homes from the 1920s and especially old Florida. So that was a really fun detail that we wanted to bring in, matching the dark color of the wood to what you see throughout the home. My husband and I were sort of convinced that we wanted a hotel lobby type bar, not like a traditional sit-up high bar. So we had a countertop bar hand poured with pebbles and shells from concrete. It has all the peckled top and character that we really hoped it would. And so this is really the mainstay of the bar. And then the front part of the bar, as you can see, we had the Pecky cypress wood done all throughout the side of the bar as well, just to mimic the ceiling and to give it like a real grounded feel. The primary exciting piece, I just save up a lot of birthdays for this one, is the white gold pebble ice machine. I know. I grew up in Texas. I love ice, and pebble ice is like the best ice. So that was my big splurge, let's put it that way.
So right off of our bedroom is our lanai and our backyard area. We recently completely redid the backyard. We had a monstrous overhaul of flagstone removal and flagstone cutting and turf install. That was a really exciting process to do. But the backyard now is way more functional, way more aesthetically pleasing, and we're just so excited. It feels very like garden-like, it feels enchanting. It reminds us of pools surrounded by lawn that you see in the Hamptons or in like a French countryside. So we're really thrilled with how it all worked out. And we used a local company called Turf Rocks, and they molded and sculpted the existing flagstone that we did keep to make even channels between all of the stone, and then they laid down turf. The area all around the pool, we went with a turf-only design, and we just couldn't be happier with how it all turned out. They even did countersunk umbrella holes where we have dropped in these beautiful yellow umbrellas from California Umbrella. And it gives such a nice shade. It's such a great place to hang out. We have 4 new chaise loungers from Highwood Home, USA, and they're made in the US, and they're so gorgeous. I love them. And we have new striped cabana pillows from Hackner Home, and also green and white striped chaise lounger cushions from the company store. And you'll notice when we take a walk around the pool, they're the same green and white stripe that you saw on the X benches that we are reupholstered, that we brought from New York City Curb Find. And they are the same cushions that are at the Beverly Hills Hotel. When we first saw the backyard photos for this listing, I immediately had ideas on how far we could take the design. The bones were amazing. I just knew that we could make it a little bit cozier and more functioning for our 4 seasons loving family. We are always outside.
So our favorite part of the house and what sold us on the house was this antique aggregate patio on the backside. When we first walked out here, I didn't need to see the inside of the house. I was already sold. So we've tried to dress it in a way that I think it should have been dressed for the time. And so we've brought in these, I collect these Francois Carré. They are 1920s Art Deco. And we've painted them all monochromatic in this really pretty sort of jade green. Since we have a small kitchen, but the kitchen's right off the patio, I also collect terracotta pots. So I've got a bunch of these terracotta pots out here that are filled with herbs. So if you're cooking in the kitchen, you can just come out to the patio, take a little clipping to take in for whatever you're cooking. It's kind of nice. It's just another extension of a really small space. So another piece that I really like to entertain with is this antique bar cart. It's on wheels, so you can wheel it around. And my favorite way to set it up is with a Moscow Mule bar. So I have all of these copper mugs, and I do a little bowl of limes, and then your ginger beers down below. And then last summer in New England, I went to Nora Murphy's shop, and she had the cutest little bottle cooler with a little handle. And so you can carry it around. It's great for outside. It's antique brass, and I think that looks really cute on there. And then mint that we grew in our little pots on the patio. You can set it on there as well. And then another cool thing is when you're entertaining, the whole top comes off like a tray, so you can carry this around if you have guests sitting over at the table and set it down.
We're standing in front of the fish pond, which is absolutely one of my favorite parts about this house.
This is a very comfortable spot for us out here. In fact, it's a great space to entertain friends, and especially in the summer. And from here we can see the front facade of the house, and we can see the greenery all around us. And we can also, in the distance, we can see the trees from the park around the Hollywood Bowl. It's nice to have drinks out here before we go into the house, especially because we like to admire the front facade of the house, because it is so historic and unexpected, and so it's a great place to have people for drinks. One of the most unusual features of this house is its curved facade, because it's most unusual, as I said, a very unusual feature of the house, and it has this balcony with the gargoyle, which we had to replace. So it has the balcony with the gargoyle, but you can see that unlike many other houses, you can see the curve up on the roof line. And the house itself has never been painted. The surface is actually gunite, which is a kind of concrete which is used for swimming pools. It's not really used very much anymore, but it's great for us, and it gives the house a nice old-fashioned look. This is the most Venetian part of the house because it has that kind of Venetian, the window has a Venetian point to it, and it's like a long exclamation mark with the balcony overlooking the street. And in fact, the front facade of this house really has only 3 windows, and these almost don't really even qualify because they're actually French doors. That's what makes it probably one of the most unusual houses in Los Angeles. In fact, when people come to visit, I say, well, you'll know our house because it's like no other house you've seen before. And the hanging light here above the front door, which is very useful, it doubles as a spot for the birds, because at the bottom, quite often the birds make their nests there. So it's kind of rather charming to come home to the cheep cheep of little baby birds.
Kbiz is about the way our homes support daily life, from morning routines to evening wind-downs. Today on Homeworthy, we're counting down 5 standout bathrooms designed to feel both functional yet indulgent. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Everyone loves the powder room. I did this beautiful wallpaper, bird and thistle. This comes in a couple of colorways. I love the green, and then I paired it with a high gloss green paint on all of the trim. This room also had flagstone, which was just not very fitting for my personal style, so I did a white marble in here with a new sink with all of these brass details and all brass accessories. paired with a little bit neutral, like a Roman shade, just to kind of tone it down and some more natural elements in here. And this room is kind of divided up into two, but we treated it as one room for cohesiveness. So the powder room, there's really kind of like a powder your nose area and a washroom area. And I feel like this is always a crowd favorite with the high gloss. It's a really beautiful green. We have two rooms in our home that are really more like dark and cozy. This is one of those rooms because instead of a traditional light fixture in here, I opted for a brass fixture. So the light fixture actually has brass chandelier shades as well. So the whole shade is metal, which is a really fun touch. So this I feel like is one of the statement pieces from the exterior of the home, this round window, and I love that they put all of the grids in. And this is actually in the stone portion of the house. And so on the exterior, it's a circle window out of the stone, which is really beautiful.
Okay, so let's talk about the primary bathroom for a minute. This is the room I was telling you that was in some publications, and that's always really exciting. I'm really proud of it because we really took it all the way down and rebuilt it. And by we, I mean our contractor, but I came up with the design. So for starters, this wall back here was actually inspired by a 19th century wall molding that I saw on eBay, and I almost actually bought the wall molding that I found and had it delivered, and then my contractor said he can recreate it, which would be way easier. So what we did was I came up with the idea of using corbels facing each other to create the arch. He just ended up having to kind of extend it a little bit so it didn't come to a point. It ended up being more of an archway. And then he added a little bit of a lip so that I can have candles or artwork. I found this tapestry on eBay, and it really reminded me of that scene in Beauty and the Beast where she's twirling around reading and singing. I love it. Again, with the bust guy. This book, it's called The Ultimate Bath. It's from Barbara Stalick, who owns Waterworks, and our bathroom is actually in this book. It's at the table of contents, which is pretty awesome. This pedestal is vintage. Found it on eBay. I loved that it was lucite. I just thought it was really funky and cool and a good juxtaposition with a more classic bust. And then this clawfoot tub is so fabulous. It's a dreamy tub. When this was featured in Better Homes and Gardens, the writer said that this space was like a living room, but instead of a sofa, it had a fabulous clawfoot tub, which I loved that. It does feel like a living space, but with a clawfoot tub in it. And I really thought this light was pretty cool. That's from Shades of Light. One thing that we did was there was a door here to the water closet, and we took it out and did a sliding door instead because it just saved space. And then I painted this and the closet the same color. This is Palm Leaf by Sherwin-Williams. And then what I love is there's a little surprise of the wallpaper in here because I kept it very simple and classic with just white. But in here, I wanted it to be a little bit of a little jewel box. And again, because it's like handwritten script, it almost looks like a diary or a storybook, in keeping with the theme of kind of like each room feeling like a storybook. So that's this. Even this, the ladder, even that has an arch shape. I wanted it to speak to the arches on the wall. These are 19th century doors I found on eBay. There were two doorknobs. I promise it. There's a reason why we had to take it off. It's a long story, but we put it on a slider here, and then this leads to our closet. I just thought these were so cool. Again, the arch was really cool. It was actually a blue door, and we had it stripped, and then I painted it the same color as the water closet door. But again, something old paired with something really new and beautiful like these knobs I thought was really special. And then again,
a little arch in that artwork and more statues.
This is my bathroom. I mentioned this is his and hers, so this is my bathroom. And I used a vinyl wallpaper, very affordable. It's by Brewster Home. It comes in another colorway. These cabinets are from Home Depot, and I just changed out the knobs over the years a couple of times. And since there's not like a ton of counter space, I bought this tray and I just kind of stuck it like between them, and it has a little bit of extra counter space for me. And this is just like an old candle holder and my soap pump, just to make it a little fancier. We used to have a window in this bathroom right here, but the garden room is on the other side. So I love natural light and I was missing it. So I worked with Velux. They did the sun tunnels in here and the skylights. And so this was a way to bring in some natural light.
It's cozy. We love the mirrors. We love the antique mirrors on the back. And then with these beautiful mirrors on top, I think it adds so much character to the whole bathroom. Again, we picked the pink marble tops, which I love. And then we added these little curtains underneath, you know, inspired by Santiago growing up going to his grandfather's house. And we just literally needed more space for, you know, putting all the things that you put in the bathroom. So we loved it. Our towels were done by Leontine Line Linens. She's awesome. So, you know, the beautiful monograms, our bathtub. I love like the cornice too with the bathtub. Oh yeah, and the wallpaper, the striped pink. You know, everybody was like, oh, and what does Santiago think about the pink wallpaper? And we actually, I think pink is a very neutral color. It's, you know, it's very romantic and feminine, but it's also very neutral. And especially when it goes to that mauve-like tone, I think it's very neutral and I love it. And then this fun detail, these tools I got in Round Top not so long ago. And, you know, they're from the 70s, a designer from the 70s, a furniture designer. And we've been loving them because we needed somewhere to sit, you know, put shoes on, put, you know, a towel or whatever, some space. And then the tile, I love the pink on the tile. It has a little bit of a light pink on it, and it's so fun and beautiful.
This is the bathroom that I was talking about. It originally was a Jack and Jill, and it was a shared bathroom which connected my daughter's room and my son's room. And so we walled it off. We ended up doing like a really cool mirror so it doesn't look like it was a breeze through. But this is his bathroom. I would take this bathroom. It has so much storage, has the double sink. Something that I think is really cool is that it has a bathtub and it has a separate shower. So it really was built to function for like multiple children. But now Ralph just gets to enjoy it. So that's pretty fun. And he has so many little like storage spaces that were here. I just, you know, put my own spin on it, if you will. The wood paneling was originally like a wood, and so I had it all refinished and painted to white dove, which is the house paint.
Hi, Homeworthy. I'm Amber, and welcome to my beautiful home in Atlanta, Georgia. Come on in.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
My name is Amber Guyton, and we are in my home in Atlanta, Georgia. I have lived in Atlanta before in 2010 to 2015, and then I moved to Texas and then to California. And during the pandemic, I was working full-time in tech at the time, and everyone basically said you could live anywhere. So I decided to move back to Atlanta. Cheaper cost of living, cheaper housing, obviously. And this house was built in 2020. I closed in February of 2021. It's a brand new construction home, but it's a bungalow. It was built to look like a lot of the smaller bungalows in this historic neighborhood of Adair Park. So I was thrilled to have a little bit of the best of both worlds, to have a bungalow that's brand new and easy to just move in, turnkey. All I had to do was decorate versus moving into something that looks too cookie cutter. It still has the character that the neighborhood has in all of the homes. So I have been in this home about 2.5 years, and I've personalized it with color, texture, pattern, and just my colorful aesthetic that I have as an interior designer. So this is my living room. My house, when you walk in, there is no grand foyer or entryway, but I do have some hooks on the door to hang your jacket, your bag, etc. And then you walk in and you're immediately greeted by the living room. So I have enough seating for just myself and my dog, but ample seating if I have some friends or family over. This is the only TV in my home. I'm not a big TV person. I'll watch TV. A lot of times it's just on for noise, but I love the Samsung frame because you could turn it into art when it's not on, just play some music. It's beautiful. It's flush to the wall, and it takes your attention off of the electronics, and you kind of just are enveloped by everything in the space. So the first thing I did when I moved in the house, as I mentioned, is painting. So because the ceilings, the lofted ceilings in here are kind of high, I just went about 5 feet up all the way around, just so the space wouldn't feel too dark, but also still have enough color. You can see that I added plantation shutters and drapery to the windows, so I still get a lot of good light, but it's a great way to kind of adjust how much light, natural light gets in the space. And then the curtains, I just love putting curtains up, even if they're not functional. They just kind of frame the window and add a little character to the window frame. So my coffee table, I love, it's called the art display coffee table because the surface is glass, so you could fill the bottom with coffee table books or anything that you wish to be seen. I've got a ton of coffee table books filled with interiors and Black artists and all the things. I always have some magazines on top for casual reading, and then this tray is filled with things like sage and fresh flowers, candles, just things to kind of set the mood in my living space. And I like that it's wide enough that if I do have some friends over and we're playing cards, or we have like a charcuterie board and wine, like it's more than enough space for us to fill the surface with.
Great design isn't just what we see, it's how we live. And at NKBA KBIS, we believe great design begins with connection. Connection to people and products, to insight, to opportunity. We are a global community of creators and innovators, designers, builders, brands, educators, coming together at Kbiz, the largest North American event for kitchen, bath, and whole home design, where borders blur, ideas collide, and the future of design is on full display. Our award-winning research reveals what's now and what's next. From design and lifestyle trends to economic forecasting, we equip our members to lead with confidence. At NKBA, we believe growth is a journey. That's why we offer industry-recognized certifications and continuing education that elevate every career stage, from student to CEO. Whether you're mastering sustainability, smart home design, or business strategy, we give you the tools to lead with purpose. And with 70-plus local chapters, NKBA connects professionals where it matters most, in your community. Because connection doesn't end when the show floor closes. It lives in the relationships we build year-round.
Nobody has welcomed me like the NKBA. They've become my friends and my family and my community.
I launched Free Power at Kbiz 2024, never having been before, and it was the best thing that we've done for the company.
Anyone that's looking to become a certified kitchen and bath designer, do it for yourself, do it for your business, and do it for the valuable insight you will get into this industry.
From the kitchen to the bath and the spaces in between. From your first project to your next breakthrough. From local communities to the global stage, we are empowering design through connection. Join us and help shape what's next.
Welcome to Kbiz, the premier destination for luxury kitchen and bath design.
For any of those luxury designers that specialize in kitchen and bath, they absolutely view Kbiz as the place to come. They know that everybody is going to bring their best, showcase beautiful design.
Kbiz is huge for seeing what products are out there. The luxury is really in the details. It's really about curating an environment that really elevates your daily life.
Here, industry-changing innovation meets unparalleled sophistication, designed to inspire and elevate your projects to new heights.
Whether you are a designer or design support or project manager or a specifier, there is something for everyone who touches the home in some capacity at this show.
Kbiz is such a wonderful show because there are so many brands here and you see so many innovative products.
Kbiz is more than a show. It's an opportunity to enhance your craft and stay ahead of the curve.
The subject matter, the experts who are there, they're really talking about how we bring luxury into design, whether it's kitchen design, bath design, or interiors.
And having great education, like in Luxury Lounge. I mean, these are really great opportunities for designers to stay on the forefront of what is coming.
This is where luxury designers, architects, and brands cultivate new relationships and grow their business.
It's about collaboration. It's about coming together, the design community, talking about topics, sharing our knowledge with each other.
The networking, the brands that come to this, the educational opportunities. I know that when I come to Kbiz, I'm going to get a chance to speak in person to some of the designers that I really want to talk to.
Be inspired, elevate your vision, and join the industry at Kbiz.
Well, I think it's the premier event. I think this is the place to be. So there's nowhere else to be but Kbiz.
Today on Homeworthy, we're taking you to Toronto to meet Alexandra Gater, a home decor expert who connects with millions through her home makeover videos on YouTube. Alexandra makes design accessible for renters and homeowners alike and believes everyone deserves to live in a beautiful space that feels like home, no matter their budget. Alexandra's own home is full of character, DIY projects, and a lot of pink. Enjoy! You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hey Homeworthy, my name's Alexandra. Welcome to my home in Toronto. Come on in. Hi, I'm Alexandra Gater. I am from Toronto, Canada, and I am a home decor YouTuber. So I actually go into people's spaces, usually rentals, usually small spaces, and make them over with my team. The makeovers are completely gifted, and the goal is really to show my YouTube audience that it's possible to live in a beautiful space no matter what your decorating experience is, no matter your budget. I am also the author of a coffee table book called Own Your Space, where I walk through really simple, easy ways you can make your rental feel like home. So I live in a rental apartment within an old Victorian home. This home was actually built in the 1800s, so it's a heritage home here in Toronto. I personally love living in an older home because it's filled with character. And when we moved in, it was really a blank slate and I changed a lot, and thankfully have landlords who were just so game for me to do whatever I wanted. I know people are always curious, like, what's your design style, or what design styles are you drawn to? And to be honest, I'm always stumped on that question because I feel like I love so many different styles. And something that I have really learned is to just buy what I love instead of trying to match a specific style. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say I love eclectic design, I love boho design, and I really love color. With a neutral base. So lots of colorful accessories, and I love bright spaces, like Scandi spaces. I love the brightness, light wood tones. So I guess to sum it up, I would say I love an eclectic design style and lots of color. Welcome to my living room. This is the space my partner and I spend most of our time in, I would say, and it also was the hardest room to design. I could not get this space right. I actually made it over 3 different times, but I feel like it's finally in a space where I'm happy with it, I love it, and it's just really, really comfortable. I think one of the main features of this living room and this entire home is the iconic stained glass. It lets in rainbows in the afternoon, which is so cool. Like the sun pours in and then there's these rainbow shapes on our wall. Another thing is the molding. I love all the molding in this space, and I really kind of leaned into that when I was making over this wall. This wall was so difficult to get right because it always just felt really blank, really open. I didn't know if I should paint it a color, but I landed on this peel and stick molding actually from a brand called Luxe Architectural. They sell these panels that you can just stick on the wall. I painted them the same color as the wall. They look like they've always been here. And I feel like it really complements the original molding in the home, like again, adding that character. And it filled the wall a lot. Even though it's a simple detail, I felt like it really completed the space. I added 2 squiggle wall sconces from my favorite lighting retailer called Mitzi. And this TV, it's actually the frame TV from Samsung. It's supposed to look like a piece of art on your wall, so it's not this black box staring at me constantly. I love it. Underneath, this is a piece I've actually brought with me apartment to apartment. I will actually add that a lot of these pieces I've kind of collected over time. And that's what I love about home decor and rentals. You can invest in these pieces that you bring with you space to space. So this bench was white at one point, then it was actually black. It's actually a custom stain that my handyman Graham came up with for me. He mixed it custom for me and I love the color.
This was our home. The place where my husband Issa and I celebrated the birthdays of our 2 kids, marked milestones, and built our lives together. And then, in January 2025, it was gone. In just one night, everything we had poured our hearts into was reduced to ash, along with 18,000 other homes across Los Angeles.
It's like, gone here, gone here.
This is the story of how we're designing our way back. I'm Alexandra Gater, an interior designer, and together with my family, we're rebuilding one of the first homes in our neighborhood to rise again. Together, we'll transform this empty lot into a home full of heart and hope. This isn't just about bricks, wood, and paint.
This is the only rafter tail from our original house that made it through the fire.
It's about reclaiming what we lost, building something even more beautiful.
Oh my God.
And finding joy again in the process. We want to bring you along for the journey, not just for the rebirth of our home, but our entire neighborhood. The hard decisions, design breakthroughs, setbacks, and moments of hope. Thank you for being by our side in designing our way back.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
It's like, gone here, gone here. Very, very odd.
I'm Alex Azat.
I'm Issa Azat. Good to see everybody. We're here in Altadena.
I grew up in New York, the suburbs of New York, so it's actually very similar to where I now live, which is Pasadena, Altadena area. And I am an interior designer here in Altadena/Pasadena.
So I grew up in South Pasadena, but my mom was raised here in Altadena. So my grandparents were up here, and I spent a lot of time in Altadena. I spent some time away on the East Coast, but came back, met my wife, and we've been living in Pasadena, Altadena, for the last maybe about 7 years, and all my family's here, and we love it here.
We bought our dream house about 1.5 years ago, and everything about it was a dream for us. Like the aesthetics, where it is, the yard. We have a Great Dane, so having such a large yard for her, just pretty much everything about it we were very, very in love with.
Single-story ranch with some land.
Yeah, I remember being in the pool in December, or like early January maybe.
It was right after New Year's.
Yeah, and I looked at Issa and I said, I hope nothing changes because I'm so happy here.
You jinxed us.
I jinxed us. It's all my fault. But, you know, obviously January 7th, you know, fire happened and we lost everything.
Everyone lost everything. It was a big...
A whole lot of people lost a lot.
I will never in my life forget the moment I knew our house was gone. We were at my brother's house about 5 or 6 blocks south, directly south from where we are sitting right now. And we had spent the morning trying to get up to our house and just navigating through what felt like a surreal movie. You know, houses were on fire, fire trucks were everywhere, cars were exploding.
We were driving down the street and there was literally fire at both sides of us. And I was like, we are parents, we can't do this. So I made him pull over.
Yeah, we went to my brother's house and my brother was putting water on his roof of his house. And so I parked the car in the backyard and Alex stayed in the car and me and my brother were outside. And I basically told him, look, I can't leave my wife.
I wasn't letting him go.
Yeah, I was like, you go up. And he's like, done. So he got about halfway up and got out of his car and ran up a golf course.
Hey Homeworthy fans, Garo Kedigan here, New York City interior designer. Those of you who know my work know that I shop the Paris flea markets extensively, and today I'm going to let you in on a few secrets to the tricks of the trade. So the Paris flea market is actually technically not in Paris. It's actually just outside of Paris. The Porte Clignancourt is actually just adjacent to the Paris city center. So actually when you take a cab, I always tell my clients to make sure you tell the cab driver that you're going to the Marché aux Puces in Saint-Ouen, Rue de Rossier. Rue de Rossier is where most of the markets are. And if you tell the cab driver that you're going to Rue de Rossier and you're not specific about Saint-Ouen, he might take you to some random place in Paris. Each of the markets has its own specialty. But as a New York City interior designer, I really want to focus in on the ones that feature the furniture and the lighting. These are the Serpette Market, which is the indoor market, and the adjoining Paul Bert Market, which is the outdoor market. Come on, let's take a look.
You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
It's easy to become overwhelmed in the Paris flea markets because there's so much to see. But I always tell people to come prepared. Of course, as an interior designer, I always come with my furniture plans, some fabric schematics, and of course, a list of all the things that I'm looking for and a measuring tape. It's key. You have to measure and see what things are. Scale is very important, of course. when you're looking at things in the flea market, sometimes you'd be inspired by the most amazing, gorgeous things that you might not have on your list. There's always room for something fabulous in your house, that's for sure. Bonjour, monsieur, ça va?
Bonjour,
ça va bien?
Merci.
Merci. This is one of my favorite little booths here in the flea market. I've bought many things from Monsieur Olivier. He has the most wonderful collection of mid-century modern pieces. I've bought many light fixtures, and this fabulous coffee table caught my eye the other day. It fits perfectly, I think. In one of my projects. Of course, when you're shopping the Paris flea markets, you'll see so many great things, but the important thing is to keep in mind that you understand the scale and the size of the pieces that you're considering. So that's why it's critical to have a measuring tape. I always carry around a small one in my pocket because, you know, sometimes the larger ones get very heavy. But it's always actually very helpful to have the centimeters on one side, because they like to do everything in centimeters here, and the inches on the back side. It works perfectly. Bonjour Frédéric, ça
Salut,
va?
ça va?
Oui, bien,
bien?
merci. Bien.
Ça fait plaisir de te voir.
Merci. Je viens toujours mon vendeur favori. I always have my favorite vendors, of course. And Frédéric is one of them. It's called Simonet. You should follow them on Instagram. Fabulous stuff. Look at these wonderful chairs. Les chaises sont magnifiques.
Oui.
Ils sont italiennes.
Exactement.
Et
Elles
vous
sont
avez combien?
italiennes. Il y en a 6.
6.
Elles sont très élégantes.
Wow, oui.
La couleur est très très jolie, c'est un noyer blond.
C'est vraiment beau.
Ouais, j'adore.
Oui, j'aime le petit détail.
Ah ouais, sur les pieds.
Les pieds.
Ouais, elles sont vraiment très chic.
Wow. Look at this beautiful detail. See how the leg flares out at the bottom? Such a subtle but beautiful detail. Of course, I always have to recover all my stuff when I buy it, but it's always nice that the vendors actually take such pride in their beautiful pieces and they actually recover them in brand new fabrics. How fabulous would these chairs be in a house in the Hamptons? I'm working on a fabulous project in Southampton, and I think these would be the perfect breakfast chairs in there. What do you think?
Welcome back, everyone. Joining us now is Lauren Schulte, founder of Monarch Kitchen Design Studio and one of the industry's most respected voices in kitchen and bath design. Yay, we're so thrilled to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. This is so much fun.
Okay, I'm laughing because I have this first question written.
Yes.
And I have seen your work. It is beautiful. It's moody. Tell me about this phrase that you have coined, which is swamp witch.
Yes. So swamp witch chic. I love adding...
I left out the chic part.
Yes.
Swamp witch chic.
Because you could go either way. It could be like a bog witch or a swamp witch, but you got to add the chic. So what I love to do is incorporate, and I did this before it sort of got trendy, I love to incorporate moss, sticks, all the earthy organic elements. The last show house that I did, everybody absolutely loved the kitchen because I had moss kind of just like dripping off of things. And my ideal client would be the witch that gives the apple to Snow White.
No way.
So, or Bram Stoker. I really like the deep, the dark, the moody.
So you're designing a kitchen for that mythical character in mind.
It's fun. It's whimsical.
Yep.
It's a little dark. It's a little heavy. I love to incorporate a lot of black. So the Swamp Witch kind of just came from because I couldn't find anything else quite like what I was doing.
So you made it yourself?
I did, but it's popular now a little bit. So,
okay.
But I coined Swamp Witch.
So I want to talk about the reason why you're here at Kbiz. You were talking about finding your niche.
Yes.
And you're speaking on a panel on Thursday. It's called The Power of a Niche, Focused Expert or Flexible Generalist.
Yes.
And what is your perspective on this?
I really think, I personally love being in a niche because when you are surrounded amongst others, there's a lot of little dealers in Western New York. How do you make yourself different than everybody else? You know, not everybody wants mid-century, not everybody wants swamp witch. And to be in a little bit of a niche, your people will find you and those people will let you be a little bit more creative in your field.
Yep.
Not everybody's gonna let you go completely, but it's enough that your people will find you.
So you are exclusively a kitchen designer.
Kitchen and bath.
Kitchen and bath
Yes.
designer.
Yep.
When did you find your niche?
Well, I sat down 3 years ago with my branding coach and she looked at all of my work and she said, you do really gorgeous work, but I can't tell you from any other kitchen that you're doing. And she's like, and I understand you love the dark, you love the heavy, you like the black, but I'm not reading that in any of your portfolio. And it really got me thinking, and I was terrified to just niche myself into something that maybe most people aren't gonna love. Western New York is ice cold. So to do a lot of the dark, the heavy stuff, it's hard because we're dark and heavy for 6 months of the year.
But you have a BA in design and psychology.
I do.
So I'm sure that that psychology degree comes in handy because there is some convincing that you have to do with a client to relay to them that you should be trusted.
Yes, I mean, it's a little bit of emotional management when you're working on a project. And that's really ultimately the thing is you have to tell them it's going to work out in all the ways that it's going to work out. When you do lots of dark and heavy, you want to make sure that you're impeccable in your lighting.
You're doing what with your lighting?
You need to be impeccable with the lighting.
Oh, yes.
Because the last, like I said, the show house kitchen that I did was black. I did black ceiling, black cabinets, black countertop, almost blackish wallpaper. It was in the middle of like the end of winter, so it was very dark, and we did it all with lighting.
And what was the reaction?
I was terrified that people were going to walk through the space and hate it because I had to be in my space, and I only heard 2 people not like it out of thousands. And really, I've gotten a ton of phone calls for people to do. Somebody's hiring me right now to recreate that same exact kitchen in their house. Yeah.
That's exciting.
That is exciting.
So, is there such thing as finding your niche too soon?
I think you'd have to be. So I own the business, so yes, it's a little bit tricky to put yourself in a category if you don't have a lot of quote unquote street credit.
Yeah.
You have to sort of build up to it. And it's hard because, you know, not everybody's going to want maybe what you're trying to niche yourself into. So you want to sometimes do some things that maybe will help pay the bills.
Sure.
But, yeah.
Well, what are some of the trends that you're seeing right now when it comes to kitchen and bath design?
I see so much texture. I had the opportunity to do a little bit of the West Hall before I walked over here, and there's a ton of red. Again,
really?
Red gorgeous bathtubs. I am so excited for that.
Wait, a red bathtub?
Clear. It's gorgeous. It reminds me a little bit of Kat Von D's pool in California.
Yes.
And I love that. You know, the dark, the dramatic, you're seeing some pinks. You're seeing a little bit of the 80s, like a modern version of the 80s coming back. All the tiles here, they have a lot of texture. I love that.
So people are embracing color again, would you say?
Yes. I want to say we're done with the white on white. There'll still be people out there that want it, but I really do think that you're starting to see.
Do you think people also, when it comes to bathroom design, are looking for sort of like almost like a spa approach, and they want like the full health picture, and they want gadgets and sort of like all the bells and whistles? What are people asking for when it comes to those kinds of things?
So we get a lot of steam showers because you know, if you have a cold or whatever, you get to kind of sit in the shower and just start to feel a little bit better. We get a lot of integration with music, so that you can listen to music in the
So you can be singing in the shower, and you don't have to take your iPhone into the shower and turn it on?
That is correct. I get a lot of that. I get a little of the hand touching, so that you don't have to adjust stuff.
Yeah.
But all in all, they're more focused sort of on the aesthetic than some of the functional stuff, because a steam shower can get a little bit expensive, and then the custom glass and all that.
Sure. And what about when it comes to kitchens? What are people looking for now?
Appliances are big. People really do love appliances. And storage. The first question that I ask all my clients is, how do you live best in your space? What are you missing from other areas of your house? Are we going into your basement to pull out certain things that you use more than maybe once or twice a year? How can we fit that into yours? And then we're knocking down walls, of course. Like I don't see that going away anytime soon. Or just have a bigger space.
And then in terms of appliances, what kinds of things are people looking for? Like the fancy stoves and refrigerators?
You're seeing induction cooking. You want people to be able to bake. There's a big battle in New York right now if we're allowed to do just electric and gas. So we're actually getting a lot of people that are trying to put gas in before it becomes like a law that everything has to go electric, because some people prefer to cook on it. So that's actually been a little wild ride for the last 7 or 8 months.
Well, I feel like the kitchen is like truly the heart of the home. I mean, it's where you spend so much of your time.
It is.
And you want it to not only feel functional, but you also want it to be really beautiful. So you've got to find this balance of the both. What do you find that sort of packs the biggest bang for your buck? Where should people be spending their money?
I would say in functional storage, so that it does function for you better. Are you a baker? Let's figure out where we're going to put all your cookie sheets. Are you somebody that likes a lot of spices? Where can we put this where it's not next to the stove? I would say those little things. And then I'm a stone girl. I love to just, take stone, run it up the back of the wall, fun backsplashes and all that too. So just a little bit of pop of just you. What is you in this kitchen?
How can somebody show their personality in their kitchen? Is it the tile? Is it, how does that manifest?
So I always say that the thing that if we all are going to the Oscars and are required to wear a black dress, what are the key pieces that people do or wear so that you don't look like everybody else?
Right.
And I say that it's the jewelry of the kitchen. So it's your backsplash, it's your hardware, it's your faucet, it's your lighting. Those are the pieces that people, if they want to sell their house in 5 years, those are the things that somebody else can come in. They didn't move into your kitchen. They moved into something where they can take out some of the things perhaps that you didn't like. A backsplash is simple. If you have a beautiful countertop, you can always just take the tile off. So,
what would you say are the 3 most popular countertops that people ask for? And is it purely based on aesthetic, or are certain countertops like more durable than others?
Yeah, and when you got to give your client the rundown of you want natural marble, well, guess what? It can stain. Do you have little kids? Do they have grape jellies?
I find it so overwhelming.
Mm-hmm.
I have been into these places before, and I'm looking at like 200 different kinds of marble. I'm like, how do you even begin to decide?
Yes. Well, what are we tying it into? So when I did my kitchen, I have black walls in my kitchen, so I do all the heavy stuff, but I picked my countertop and worked my kitchen around that because I loved my slab of marble so much.
You knew you wanted that.
I knew that that's exactly what I wanted. I knew that my husband's probably going to stain it, you know what I mean?
Right.
If I don't stay on top of sealing it. I knew all of that going into it. So I really do think that the driver is aesthetic. I do a lot of the Cambria, the beautiful gold, the gold veining and stuff like that. I just is being installed as we speak. Right now. So those are some of the elements, I think.
And how do you see your niche evolving over the next couple of years?
Because the darks are heavy, I'm going to have to switch into something else. Because I don't know if people are necessarily going to want to stay with it, but the goths at heart are consistently like, you know what I mean? Like, Kat Von D, she's not changing. You know that her next kitchen is either going to be pitch black or red or something like that. So, do what you like, you know what I mean? But I do think that I'll have to adjust my 10-year plan for the moody, the heavy.
But I like the motto, do what you like.
Yes.
Because it's the space that you're going to be in.
You're spending $100,000, $200,000 on a kitchen. You better love it.
Yeah, especially if you're going to be in there. Otherwise,
a long time.
You're not going to be cooking, and you're going to be ordering food and taking it into the living room and like not being in your kitchen as much as possible.
Yes, I agree.
Well, your kitchen and baths are stunning. Thank you so much, Lauren, for stopping by today. It was such a treat to talk to you, and have fun walking the floor and getting all of this inspiration here.
Thank you for having me. This was so much fun.
Of course. Coming up, we've got Erica Bovard and Alina Capra from CAFÉ. They share how to make your kitchen truly yours from customizable appliances to expert design tips with their new style studio. Stay tuned for more. We'll be back in just a few. Have fun!
This segment is sponsored by GE Appliances. Explore good things for life, built for America.
Be good. I'll be home after dinner.